Okay, let's get into this. You know, when most people think about alien life, the picture that probably pops into your head is, well, it's usually sci-fi stuff, right?
Yeah, little green beings, maybe those big heads, flying saucers.
Exactly. But the reality, what scientists actually think we might find, especially in our own solar system, it's uh it's probably microbial, tiny life.
It really is. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, this incredible, more grounded search for alien life, focusing on Jupiter's icy moon, Europa.
Right. And we're going to explore how some of Earth's most, well, extreme places, deep, dark environments, might actually hold the key clues.
It's all about finding analogs,
Well,
understanding life here to guess what it might be like out there.
and leading a big part of this charge is a microbiologist, James Holden from UMass Amherst. He actually got a pretty significant NASA grant.
Yeah, over $600,000. It's a 3-year study specifically looking at what potential life on Europa might actually, well, look like, or maybe how it functions.
But here's the really cool part, the bit you might not expect. Holden isn't like aiming huge telescopes at distant stars.
No, not at all. His laboratory, his alien environment.
Yeah.
It's right here on Earth, deep beneath our oceans.
A mile down, near those volcanic vents on the seabed. It's kind of amazing.
It really is. So our mission for this deep dive is to understand how studying these Earth-based microbes, these extremophiles, gives us real clues about life potentially surviving on Europa.
We'll get into what that life could be like, how it might even work, chemically speaking, in such a different place. Should be pretty fascinating.
Absolutely. Let's dig in.
Okay, so Europa. The surface is totally frozen over, right? Just ice.
That's right. Miles thick, potentially.
But underneath all that ice, astronomers are pretty sure there's a huge ocean. Liquid water, salty, and maybe even touching a hot, rocky core.
Exactly. That contact with the core is key. It suggests potential chemical energy sources.
And what did scientists see here on Earth that made them think, hey, maybe Europa has something similar?
Well, that brings us right back to James Holden's work. He points straight at the hydrothermal vents deep in our oceans.
Okay.
He basically says, look, based on Earth, Europa might just have the right conditions to support life. Similar setup, potentially.
And that's why NASA sent the Europa Clipper mission, right, to check this out.
Precisely. Clipper is packed with instruments. It's going to map that ice shell, look for water plumes shooting out.
Flumes, like geysers.
Kind of, yeah. Erupting from cracks in the ice, maybe carrying ocean water into space. Clipper will even try to sample the chemistry, see if it really is habitable.
Wow. And Holden, he's been studying these Earth vents for ages, hasn't he? Since the late 80s?
Decades, yeah. Since 1988. He knows this environment incredibly well.
Getting samples from a mile down? I mean, how do you even do that? That sounds like a massive challenge.
Oh, it is. It's a huge undertaking. He uses these specialized submarines. Sometimes humans go down in them. Sometimes they're robotic, remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs. They dive into that crushing pressure, collect samples near the vents, and then bring them carefully back up to his lab at UMass Amherst.
And then in the lab, he tries to recreate the conditions.
Meticulously. His lab is set up to mimic that environment. No light, no oxygen, high pressure. Everything these specific microbes need to survive.
So these aren't like plants needing sunlight or animals needing oxygen. They're completely self-sufficient down there.
Pretty much. They get all their energy just from the chemicals coming out of the vents, gases, minerals.
That's incredible. So hardy. You mentioned hydrogenases before. What exactly are those? How do they fit in?
Right, hydrogenases. That's a really key piece. Think of them as tiny biological machines, specific proteins, enzymes that help these microbes essentially eat hydrogen gas.
Okay, eat hydrogen.
Yeah, they act like converters. They take the energy stored in hydrogen molecules and basically channel it to power the microbe's life processes.
And what about accepting electrons? What does that mean?
Ugh, good question. It's like a tiny energy transfer. Hydrogen likes to donate electrons. Other elements like sulfur or iron coming from the vents can accept those electrons. When that transfer happens, energy is released and the microbe captures it.
So it's their clever way of making a living without any sunlight at all.
Exactly. Ingenious, really.
Huh.
Life finds a way using the chemistry available.
So Holden's thinking is, because Europa's ocean might have similar chemical conditions, maybe life there, if it exists, could look something like these vent microbes, using similar chemistry.
That's the core idea, yes. It's amazing to think the blueprint for potential alien life might be thriving right here, deep in our own oceans.
It really is. But Europa isn't Earth, right? It's ocean. Even if it's salty and has vents, won't be identical.
Precisely. And this is where it gets really interesting. Earth's microbes give us a starting point, a template. But the real mystery, the exciting part, is how different chemistries on Europa might lead to different forms of life.
Different chemistry.
Yeah. It's not just a small detail. It hints that alien life might use a whole toolkit of chemical reactions we're only just starting to grasp. It could expand our whole definition of what life can be.
So Holden said something about that, didn't he? About figuring out different processes.
He did. He said, basically, we need to figure out the different chemical processes that European microbial life might be using. Different chemistries could create very different kinds of microbes.
Okay, so on Earth, these vent microbes often use hydrogen, broken down by those hydrogenase enzymes we talked about.
Right, but there isn't just one type of hydrogenase. There are different kinds, and they work slightly differently.
Ah, okay. And that leads to organisms that look and function differently, even though they're all using hydrogen.
Exactly. Plus, other elements from the vents like iron, sulfur, carbon, they can also partner with hydrogen, accepting its electrons to generate energy.
But we don't fully understand how all those different partnerships work biologically, especially if the ion of hydrogen changes.
That's what scientists like Holden are trying to figure out. How exactly do these different chemical pathways work inside the cell? How do they contribute to the organism's overall life, its physiology, especially when resources fluctuate?
So his team is meticulously mapping this out, how different chemistries build different microbes. It's not just if life could be there, but how it might actually function down to the chemical nuts and bolts.
It's incredibly detailed work, almost like reverse engineering potential alien life by studying Earth life.
The ingenuity is just mind-boggling, isn't it? Even at that tiny microscopic scale.
It truly is. And Holden's research, painstakingly recreating those extreme conditions, no light, no oxygen, high pressure, it really shows how valuable these deep-sea vents are as an analogy for Europa's hidden ocean.
A powerful analog, yeah. It highlights that we can learn so much about what might be out there by looking really closely at the hidden corners of our own planet.
Absolutely. Studying Earth's deep secrets to unlock cosmic possibilities.
And it connects right back to that fundamental human curiosity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Are we alone? And if not, what does other life look like? How does it work?
That's the driving force. And the idea that some answers might literally lie beneath our feet, well, under the ocean floor, is just profoundly exciting.
It really is. The deep insight here, I think, is that by studying these extremophiles on Earth, we're not just saying life could exist elsewhere. We're actually building a potential blueprint.
A blueprint for what it might look like, how it might function, the sheer chemical variety it could use. It's like finding, I don't know, a kind of cosmic Rosetta Stone right here.
Yeah. It really pushes you to think about life's adaptability, doesn't it? If tiny chemical differences here lead to such diverse organisms.
What does that imply for the rest of the universe?
Exactly. What incredible variety might exist, totally beyond what we can even picture right now. If life here adapts its chemistry to use sulfur or iron or hydrogen, what completely different energy sources might life be using on worlds we haven't even conceived of properly yet?
It opens up a universe of possibilities, really. Makes you wonder what other completely alien biochemistries might be out there.